What's up, guys? How's it going? Mr. Allen coming back with another ODFP, another old dead famous people showcase. In today's showcase, we're going to be talking about Maximilien Robespierre. He was a French philosopher, government official, journalist, scholar, judge, activist, and lastly, a lawyer. He is best remembered for being a radical Jacobin leader and one of the principal figures in the French Revolution. In the latter months of 1793, he came to dominate the Committee of Public Safety, the principal organ of the revolutionary government during the Reign of Terror. But in 1794, he was ultimately overthrown and guillotined. Now, Maximilien Isidore de Robespierre was born in Arras, France on May 6, 1758, the oldest of 4 children. He soon moved to Paris, France, where he was educated, and he even performed a speech in front of King Louis XVI and Queen Marie Antoinette. Now, in 1781, after a stellar academic career, he completed his education when he earned a law degree at the age of 23. He would soon go back to his hometown of Arras, France, and practice law there, which provided him with a comfortable income. Now, Robespierre soon took on a public role, calling for political change in the French monarchy. He became influenced by the ideals of the Enlightenment, and more specifically, the social philosophy of Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Now, Robespierre was intrigued by the idea of a virtuous man who stands alone, accompanied only by his conscience. He gained a reputation for defending the poorest of society, and he even earned the nickname the Incorruptible for his adherence to strict moral values. Now, at age 30, Robespierre was elected to the Estates General of the French legislature. He became increasingly popular with the people for his attacks on the French monarchy and his advocacy for democratic reforms. He also opposed the death penalty as well as slavery, and as a result of these political stances, some of his colleagues saw him as an extremist. Now, eventually, in April 1789, Robespierre was elected president of the powerful Jacobin political faction. A year later, he participated in the writing of the Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizen, the foundation of the French Constitution. And as the revolution progressed, Robespierre moved up the ranks of French political leadership. In 1792, Robespierre was elected to head the Paris delegation of the new National Convention. In December of that same year, he successfully argued for the execution of the king and continued to encourage the crowds to rise up against the aristocracy. Now, Maximilien Robespierre continued to win the admiration of the public eye and was elected to the Committee of Public Safety, which was formed to oversee the government with virtual dictatorial control. Faced with pressures, both from the outside and from within, the revolutionary government instituted what became known as the Reign of Terror in September of that year. In the next 11 months, 300,000 suspected enemies of the revolution were arrested, and more than 17,000 were executed, most by guillotine. In the orgy of bloodshed, Robespierre was able to eliminate many of his political opponents, and seemingly intoxicated with power over life and death, Robespierre continued to call for more purges and executions. And by the summer of 1794, many in the revolutionary government began to question his motives, as the country was no longer threatened by outside enemies. An awkward coalition of moderates and revolutionaries were formed to oppose Robespierre and his followers, and by July of 1794, France had enough of Robespierre, as he and his many allies were arrested and taken to prison. He was able to escape with the aid of a sympathetic jailer and hid in the city hall in Paris. Now, when he received word that the National Convention had declared him an outlaw, he tried to commit suicide, but succeeded only in wounding his jaw. Shortly after, troops from the National Convention stormed the building and seized and arrested Robespierre and his followers. And the next day, he and 21 of his allies were executed at the guillotine. Now, something to kind of keep in mind is the ironic aftermath here. After the coup and Robespierre's death, the Committee of Public Safety eventually lost all of its credibility, and the French Revolution became distinctly less radical. In closing, Maximilien Robespierre lived between the years of 1758 and 1794, a total of 36 years. He is best remembered for his meteoric rise and fall, and for being the voice of radical France during the Reign of Terror, in which he oversaw the bloodiest time period in France's revolution. With that being stated, guys, that's all I have for this ODFP showcase dealing with Maximilien Robespierre. I hope you guys enjoyed. Mr. Allen signing off. I'll see you guys later. Take care.